Imagine an NBA where the most unstoppable duo of the modern era never went their separate ways. Shaquille O'Neal, the dominant force in the paint, and Kobe Bryant, the relentless assassin on the perimeter, staying together not just for 3 championships, but for 5, 6, maybe even more. What if egos never clashed? What if the Lakers dynasty never fractured in 2004? Would we be calling Shaq and Kobe the greatest partnership in sports history, surpassing even Jordan and Pippen? Today, we're stepping into that alternate reality, where the Diesel and the Mamba never split, and the NBA landscape as we know it has changed forever. To understand this alternate history, we first need to revisit the real story. Shaquille O'Neal joined the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996 as the most dominant big man in the league, fresh off his Orlando Magic years. That same summer, a high school kid named Kobe Bryant was traded to the Lakers from the Charlotte Hornets. What no one knew at the time was that these two would form one of the most electrifying partnerships in basketball history. From 1996 to 2000, they went through growing pains. Kobe was young, cocky, and learning the ropes, while Shaq was already a superstar in his prime. But once Phil Jackson arrived in 1999, everything clicked. His triangle offense balanced Shaq's inside dominance with Kobe's perimeter brilliance. The result? 3 consecutive NBA championships from 2000 to 2002. The Lakers were unstoppable. Shaq controlled the paint like no other center had since Wilt Chamberlain. Kobe was evolving into one of the most feared scorers in the league. Together, they created a dynasty that captured the imagination of fans worldwide. But underneath the surface, trouble brewed. Shaq felt underappreciated and often criticized Kobe's selfishness. Kobe resented Shaq's lack of conditioning and work ethic. Their clashes became public, arguments in practice, subtle digs in interviews, and eventually, a full-on power struggle. In 2004, after losing the NBA Finals to the Detroit Pistons, the Lakers front office made a decision that would change history. They chose Kobe over Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal was traded to the Miami Heat, ending one of the greatest duos in basketball after just 8 seasons. That's where real history ended. But in our story, the split never happens. Let's rewind to that pivotal summer of 2004. Instead of shipping Shaq to Miami, imagine Lakers management stepping in, determined to keep both stars together. Dr. Jerry Buss and Phil Jackson hold a private meeting with Kobe and Shaq. Instead of letting egos explode, Buss makes it clear, both of you are Lakers. Both of you are staying. This is bigger than one man. Phil Jackson, master of psychology, reminds them that dynasties aren't built on comfort. They're built on sacrifice. He challenges Shaq to commit to conditioning and fitness, while pushing Kobe to channel his energy into leadership instead of resentment. And surprisingly, both buy in. Kobe, still just 26 years old, realizes that Shaq is his ticket to winning more rings faster. Shaq, 32 at the time, sees that Kobe's drive can extend his career's dominance if he's willing to adapt. So instead of splitting, the Lakers run it back in 2004-05 with their core intact. The Western Conference is stacked. Tim Duncan's Spurs are at their peak. Kevin Garnett is dominating in Minnesota. Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks are emerging. But a Lakers team with a refocused Shaq and a locked-in Kobe. That's a nightmare matchup. In our alternate history, the Lakers storm through the regular season. Shaq, motivated by critics who said he was done, comes into the year in better shape. Kobe, maturing into his prime, embraces being the relentless scorer while still deferring to Shaq in crunch time. Phil Jackson's triangle flows perfectly again. The playoffs arrive, and the Lakers dominate their way back to the finals. Instead of the San Antonio Spurs winning in 2005, it's the Lakers who reclaim the crown, defeating the Detroit Pistons in a dramatic rematch. This time, Kobe and Shaq are united. Kobe puts up 30 points per game in the finals, while Shaq delivers vintage dominance inside, earning Finals MVP. That win cements their bond. Instead of bitterness, success fuels cooperation. Shaq feels validated. He can still win as the centerpiece. Kobe feels vindicated. He's proven he can share the spotlight and still shine. By 2006, their chemistry evolves further. Kobe becomes the league's best perimeter player, while Shaq continues to control the paint. Together, they push the Lakers into dynasty territory, rivaling Jordan's Bulls of the 1990s. But here is where things get even more interesting. Their continued dominance has ripple effects across the league. Dwyane Wade? He doesn't get Shaq in Miami, which means the 2006 Heat title never happens. Wade becomes a superstar regardless, but he doesn't reach championship status so early. The Spurs? Their dynasty is interrupted. Instead of 4 titles from 1999 to 2007, maybe they only get 2. LeBron James, entering the league in 2003, now grows up in an NBA still firmly ruled by Kobe and Shaq. His path to becoming the king is delayed as the Lakers dominate the East's rising stars. The balance of power across the NBA shifts dramatically. The Lakers are no longer a three-peat dynasty that fizzled out. They are a juggernaut redefining longevity. By 2006 and 2007, the Lakers' continued dominance reshapes everything. Kobe is in his prime, a scoring machine with unmatched footwork and determination, while Shaq adapts his game, leaning more on strength and positioning than pure athleticism. The two aren't just coexisting anymore, they're thriving. The narrative around the NBA changes. Instead of Shaq or Kobe, it becomes Shaq and Kobe against the world. Rivalries intensify. The Spurs become their greatest Western rival, pushing them an epic 7-game series. Every matchup feels like a battle for basketball's soul, Duncan's calm fundamentals versus Shaq's brute force and Kobe's artistry. In 2007, when the real-world Spurs swept LeBron's young Cavaliers in the finals, the alternate timeline looks very different. The Lakers, with Shaq and Kobe, face LeBron instead. The result? A harsh lesson for the young king. The Cavaliers are no match for the Lakers' juggernaut. Shaq bullies Cleveland's big men, Kobe toys with defenders, and the Lakers win the championship in 5 games. At this point, Shaq and Kobe have 4 rings together, and counting. By 2008, the narrative becomes clear. This duo isn't just legendary, they're redefining greatness. Kobe is now considered the best player in the league, while Shaq is still a top-tier center, though aging. Their ability to adjust, Kobe taking on more scoring responsibility while Shaq provides efficiency inside, keeps them ahead of everyone else. The Celtics' big 3 of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, who in real life won the 2008 championship, now face a daunting challenge. In this alternate reality, the Lakers and Celtics still meet, but with Shaq still in purple and gold, the series tilts in LA's favor. Kobe relishes the finals matchup against Boston, while Shaq provides enough dominance inside to neutralize Garnett's presence. The Lakers win in 6 games, adding another jewel to their crown. By now, the Lakers' dynasty is compared not just to Jordan's Bulls, but to Bill Russell's Celtics of the 1960s. Fans begin asking, is this the greatest team of all time? The true peak of this alternate timeline arrives in 2009 and 2010. Kobe is now fully in his prime, the league's best closer, and a relentless competitor. Shaq, though no longer the explosive force of his youth, still commands double teams in the paint. Together, they create an unstoppable inside-outside attack. In 2009, the Lakers faced Dwight Howard's Orlando Magic in the finals. In real history, Kobe finally won his first title without Shaq here. But in this timeline, Shaq is still by his side. The media calls it the passing of the torch. Shaq versus Dwight Howard, the new generation's dominant big man. But Howard is no match. Shaq outmuscles him, Kobe dazzles, and the Lakers win easily. That championship gives Shaq and Kobe 5 rings together, matching Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's dominance of the 1980s. In 2010, the Lakers once again meet the Celtics in a finals rematch. This series becomes the defining moment of their partnership. It's grueling, physical, and emotionally charged. Kobe puts up legendary performances, including a gritty Game 7 where he refuses to let Boston celebrate on LA's floor. Shaq, older and slower but still clutch, provides just enough inside presence to give Kobe the space he needs. The Lakers win the series. Shaq and Kobe are now 6-time champions together, surpassing the Bulls' 1990s dynasty in sheer dominance. This is the turning point. In real history, Shaq was in Cleveland and Boston by this time, chasing rings as a role player. In our alternate reality, he's still a Laker, still contributing and still winning. The question shifts from, what if they stayed together, to, could anyone ever stop them? By the early 2010s, age begins to catch up with Shaquille O'Neal. His knees aren't the same and his dominance fades. But by then, the damage is already done. The Lakers dynasty has stretched far longer than anyone thought possible. Shaq retires as a six-time champion, all with the Lakers. His legacy is unquestioned. The most dominant big man since Wilt, part of the greatest duo the NBA has ever seen. Instead of bouncing between teams late in his career, he retires as a lifelong Laker, his jersey hanging in the rafters beside Kobe's. Kobe, meanwhile, builds on this dynasty. With Shaq retiring, Kobe takes full control of the Lakers and adds another championship or two in the early 2010s, solidifying his place as one of the greatest players ever. But even without those extra titles, his partnership with Shaq cements his legacy differently. Not just as the alpha who proved he could win without Shaq, but as the co-leader of the longest-lasting dynasty in modern NBA history. The ripple effects across the league are massive. Dwyane Wade never wins in 2006, changing his legacy. LeBron James, instead of chasing a super team in Miami, may choose a different path earlier, knowing the Lakers' dominance blocks his way. The Spurs, Celtics, and Mavericks all lose at least one championship. NBA history is rewritten. Instead of debating Jordan's Bulls versus LeBron's Cavaliers or Heat, the conversation becomes Jordan Pippen versus Shaq Kobe, and many argue that Shaq and Kobe, with 6 or even 7 rings together, are the greatest duo in basketball history. The takeaway? Greatness often comes down to more than talent. It's about relationships, egos, and compromise. In reality, Shaq and Kobe's split showed the cost of clashing personalities. But in this alternate timeline where pride takes a backseat to teamwork, we witness the greatest dynasty that never was. And so, the legend of Shaq and Kobe reminds us of a haunting. What if only 2 of the game's fiercest competitors had stayed united, the NBA might look very different today.